Okay. Oop. Okay. Oop.
The delay was not anything other than they're waiting for the road to start to take shape so they can begin their project. So that's now in the pipeline. The delay was not anything other than they're waiting for the road to start to take shape so moisture barrier built into these. They're mostly viewed as dry logistics, not food processing or refrigerated space. So there's some questions there that we're working on right now. I-35 frontage, we're still seeing a lot of activity along with Haslet Parkway. Now that construction project is in full swing, people are really hot to see where those entrance ramps are going to land and exit ramps, and they're looking at I-35 strongly. We actually have one that would be a fairly substantial commercial project, not massively retail driven, but it is not logistics. So we're hopeful that we can keep that project alive and bring that to the council and to the P&Z in the next maybe 3 or 4 months. So again, that is a positive that I had hoped all along that we would start seeing, and those are starting to happen. It's now we're still having to fight off all the logistics as well. Our future land use map shows general commercial along I-35, so we inform brokers and developers that they are certainly within their rights to apply to have industrial zoning placed in there or to do an industrial project in the ETJ, but they will get no support. The council's made it clear, as has the future land use plan, that we do not want to see those logistics buildings come up and basically populate all of I-35 up through the Haslet corridor.
So what kind of limits does the airport development zone put? What are we restricting?
Primarily, it's hospitals or inpatient. You could have a medical office building, but you couldn't have an inpatient hospital. You can't have apartments. You can't have any kind of residential within that zone.
But a hotel was okay.
But a hotel was okay, and I'm not sure if that was because of the ETJ issue. There was some question on whether or not the city could stop that project, if you will, because of the water and sewer that they needed from the city of Haslet. The decision was made that they would negotiate a deal that project would come inside the city limits and they would allow that to be there. So the airport itself, the airport development zone is a zoning category. The other issues are the noise cones and the height restrictions. Those are mandated. Those are not local control. That is the FAA requirements. So again, our restrictions are primarily to overnight, inpatient hospitals or those types of things. I cannot answer why that hotel did not run through my office. It went straight through planning and council, so I can't answer exactly the difference between staying overnight or staying a week at a hotel in that zone, or staying at a hospital for a week. I'm not sure the difference.
But those constraints are established by whom? It's not by Haslet, right? It's by state or the...
No, the airport development zone is a Haslet zoning category. It may be in our ETJ. It just through our ETJ. So it's still an area where we really don't have that zoning control, but we've extended that zone to show that we're not going to look at residential type or overnight stays. Any more detail on that one, I'm going to have to punt to our Bureau Veritas. I don't want to start guessing. I'm comfortable there, but I'm not comfortable beyond. Again, our ordinance does extend that airport zone, even though it's in our ETJ. The vast majority of the remaining right-of-way parcels for Phase 2 of Haslet Parkway is anticipated to come to council during their second meeting in August. Their second regular meeting in August. City Council actually has 3 meetings this August due to budget work, but August 19th is when I anticipate bringing a large handful of the remaining parcels. So y'all will see those for the acquisition probably. I don't think it'll make the August meeting. It might, but either August or September, y'all will see the costs along with Type B for the remaining right-of-way. Or again, the vast majority. Condemnations are ongoing. We're still negotiating with those landowners to try and avoid that process or, the actual hearing. But we do have 3 that we filed on to date, and we hope that will be all that we have to file on. So again, we are continuing forward. We are within the management plan. I will say Zachary Construction is moving very quickly through the project, so they're jumping up and down and want us to hurry every chance we get because they're ready to go into Phase 2. But we are well within the management plan that says we have to have all that acquired by December 31st of this year. So again, if we close on it in August, September, or October, we're still way ahead of schedule, considering that we started the project with 3 days left on the grant. I feel like we've built in a little cushion. And I'll answer any questions y'all may have.
What is the timing of the project completion in the park?
Are you talking the tennis courts, or are you talking the TRA line that's been running through the park?
I'm talking about the water that's running through the pipe on the trail kind of by the railroad track.
I will have to seek information from David Rogers. I know they finally started moving that project along maybe a month ago, maybe 60 days, but they were hand boring under the railroad, and that had slowed down the project considerably. But I'll ask David, and I'll email that out when I get that information to the board.
I was there this morning, and got the hole all filled in. They're moving out all the materials and scrap and everything. So they're in the cleanup mode. They're taking down the fence around the work area. So it's progressing, but repairing the trail and all that, I don't know if that's part of their responsibility. That all has to be. The one underneath 156 is still there. But in the work area, it's all dry as of today.
Any other questions for Thad?
And on the construction report, that is basically I've taken David Rogers' report that is presented to council the previous month and included that because that was our discussion. I will ask if y'all have questions there. If you read your packet over the weekend, if you would email those, I can get the answers for you by this meeting. Otherwise, I'll need to take notes because we are short-staffed. He's working constantly, so I would need to have a little time to get those answers for you.
So Haslet Parkway in general on schedule, going good?
Yes, sir.
And completion of Phase 1 is still estimated to be end of next year?
Yes, sir.
End of 22.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? All right, then let's move on. Item number 7, executive session. We don't have an executive session today. That negates item number 8. Item number 9, consider an act regarding items to be placed on the next agenda.
Your next agenda may have amendments to your proposed budget for next year. The city has signed a lease to move my office, permitting, inspections, and potentially, I think it's the building official. I don't know about the planning director yet because of spacing. But those officers are moving to the shopping center at 156 and Schoolhouse Road, that south end. I'm probably going to have a coffee problem after, a couple of months because it's 2 doors down from Froth. So again, because my office would be relocating to there, I believe it would be appropriate for this board to consider paying for portions of that lease space and those types of things. It's fairly common, but that is up to y'all. It is already approved through the city budget, but the request is that the EDCs take on that portion that would be related to my expenses.
You have a guess on how much that is?
It is the lease rate is, including triple nets, is $3,100 a month, and it's the former My Credit Union space, so it's already finished. We did not have to do finish work. We'll have to do minor work to the front windows to make that work for the planning people, but it already has 4 offices complete, as well as 4 desks. We just have to bring chairs, computers, and hookups.
So we would get a third of that?
Whatever your tolerance is probably what you would get.
How many square feet is the space?
I would bring that next month to you. It's I think it's about 1,800, maybe 1,700. I can't remember exactly, Stuart. But it's, again, they're not small offices. They were, banker type, not big banker type offices. They were credit union offices, which were nice but frugally done.
Okay, I was just curious. So it's a little over $20 a
21 and some change per square foot, including the triple nets, the
Okay,
insurance,
makes
and everything
sense.
else.
I was just curious.
I've got some.
Any other discussion regarding item number 9?
Yes, sir. As soon as I find where I made my notes, I would. I don't know which page I made my note on. I have 2 other items. The mayor next month has requested to make an address to the board. He's done this with planning and zoning and others, and so there would be an item on there for him to be able to address this commission. And also executive session next month for probably for right-of-way, but also for another project we are looking at that we can't discuss in open session. So you'll have an executive session related to that. Y'all have seen it before, but we're bringing it back for a different discussion.
What day is that supposed to be?
That the new offices, has this been in a planning stage for a while? This is the first I've heard of it.
This was, the discussion has been for some time how to address the limited office space in City Hall. When we're fully staffed, we're kind of on top of each other. I have a cubicle right outside my office that is the accounts payable. Courts, they share an office. The city secretary had her assistant in her office as well. So somewhat in relation to COVID, with everybody on top of each other, now we have the new variants, the decision was made that maybe an interim to doing anything else would be to move offices out. Mike Thetford actually offices in the computer room. I mean, a closet. It hums loudly, and he's in there trying to review plans and those types of things. So we've needed space for some time. But again, through the budget process, council has considered an additional building official, which, again, there's no space for. They've also considered an accountant to help Marcy with her work that she does through the budget and the financial work, and there's no office for that person as well. So again, if all of those things are approved by council, it would be almost an unworkable situation. I hate to say unworkable, we'd find a way. But it just gets too crowded. So Again, I don't know if this is ultimately ends up being a permanent solution, but for now, it's a 3-year lease, but with 60 days notice, the city can cancel. So the owner of the shopping center was really easy to work with. The lease would start August 1, but there are a number of things, again, short-staffed. There's no one to put on it to try and get our electricity done, to get the phones hooked up, to get the computers set up, all of those things. That also was budgeted by council to take care of those costs. But as soon as practical, we do have our new permit tech. She started, I believe, this week, but she's more remote this week. Next week, she'll be in the office. So as soon as it's at least me, her name is Kat. I don't know her last name. Okay. And Mike, if the three of us are working on it, then we can make something happen in the next couple of weeks. But again, right now it's just, we know we have the space, but trying to find the time to put all those pieces together is just, again, it's beyond where we can do right now. We're a little taxed.
Any other comments regarding number 9, regarding items to be placed on the next agenda? Item number 10, adjourn.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate your time.
This conference is no longer being recorded.